Topping today's news, authorities keeping a close eye on deadly tropical storm Erin. Liquor merchants in areas deemed unsuitable may not be able to renew your licenses. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force Marine accused of abusing rangers charged in the magistrate's court, and another New Providence shantytown served eviction notices. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Forecasters say Tropical Storm Erin is likely to become a Category 3 hurricane either late Thursday or early Friday, packing winds of 75 to 100 miles per hour. The first named storm of the 2025 season. By 8 a.m. on Monday, Erin is expected to be just southeast of Inagua and the Turks and Caicos Islands, with wind speeds increased to 115 miles per hour. Even before it becomes a named hurricane, or before it became a named hurricane system, Erin killed 9 people in the Cape Verde Islands off the west coast of Africa, where a state of emergency has been issued after deadly floods which forced 1,500 people from their homes. Bahamians are urged to monitor the system over the next 2 to 3 days while also preparing for direct impact. The government has introduced new regulations that will address the high concentration of liquor establishments in densely populated, economically fragile areas over the hill. The new legislation will require Inland Revenue to consider a number of factors to determine if a liquor establishment is suitable for a particular area that may be in close proximity to a school or place of worship before that license is granted or renewed. Shonda Strawn, the acting controller at the Department of Inland Revenue, was asked what will happen to those existing liquor establishments that are in areas deemed unsuitable.
But I'll say this to you. The Department of Inland Revenue is reasonable. We're reasonable in what we do. And let's say, for instance, you already have a liquor establishment, but we now deem your premises unsuitable. Your premises are not suitable, and so we're not going to register you. I don't know what that's going to look like. It probably will look like us, of course, going through a period of consultation. Can you amend your premises to make it suitable? But in any event, the Department of Inland Revenue has strict guidelines to follow, which we will follow. We have no choice. And once we follow them, if a decision is given and it's not a decision that the business owner can accept, there's a whole process of appeal.
Having already invested into business establishments, some liquor merchants who may be denied a renewal may cry foul. Strawn, who was speaking at the Office of the Prime Minister, says in such cases, Inland Revenue does not make the determination and that liquor merchants will have the opportunity to seek redress.
And so it's not just Inland Revenue that's gonna, I've heard out there, Inland Revenue, do what they want. Absolutely not. First of all, the legislation was enacted. We're not involved in that just then. Our role is to carry out the laws that have been passed. And if it is that the decision made by the department in accordance with those laws, those policies and procedures, is not a decision that the taxpayer wishes to accept, there is a whole process that they can carry out. In other words, the buck does not just stop at Inland Revenue. So there is a process of review that does not include us.
Strawn said it is possible that liquor merchants would have to cease operation during their appeal as a result of the new laws that came into effect on July 1st. Before a liquor license can be applied or applied for, the merchant must first register their business with the Department of Inland Revenue some 90 days before application, at a cost of $100 for wholesale and retail liquor stores and $50 for bars and restaurants. 2 weeks after it was reported that a Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer allegedly physically and sexually abused a number of rangers while at a recent summer camp on the island of Eleuthera, 26-year-old Marine Yashua Cox was charged in the magistrate's court Tuesday, where he faced 7 counts of cruelty to children and 2 counts of indecent assault. The arraignment comes after extensive investigations by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the police force. Since the investigation began over 2 weeks ago, Cox was being held in detention at the Royal Bahamas Defense Force base in Coral Harbor, but he has now been turned over to the police for prosecution. Some of the claims by parents include rangers between the ages of 13 and 16 years old being deprived of sleep, physically abused, strong language, and at least one 14-year-old boy forced to masturbate in front of his peers. These incidents took place between June 30th and July 19th, 2025. The rangers have since been given counseling. Cox was granted $15,000 bail, ordered to wear a police ankle monitor, and will return to court on December 8th. Today, Wednesday, the government issued another set of eviction notices to more than 60 makeshift homes in a shanty town or unregulated community off Cowpen Road in the Montgomery community. The 28-day notice sets the stage for demolition to begin sometime in September. The Department of Social Services will do a walkabout through that community on Thursday to interview residents there to determine who qualifies for assistance in their relocation efforts. The Davis administration has conducted demolition exercises at several locations on New Providence, Abaco, Eleuthera, with plans to also address similar issues in communities on Andros. And finally, in this segment, more from the government's consultation forum on the Junkanoo Authority Bill 2025 held Monday at Goldwyn Resort. During the question and answer period, veteran Junkanoo Denzel Roll, a former executive of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence and a current member, expressed his support for the bill but needed clarity on the role of the existing Junkanoo corporations.
I want to say, first up, right out, I support this bill. This bill has been something that I see as the advancement of Junkanoo. And I've already been said, I've been part of other governments who started the same thing, but this particular bill made it the furthest. We never have gotten to this stage in the past. And I'm saying this in sincerity. I think one of the main concerns in the public domain is the roles that is to be played by the various persons in the authority. For example, it's not clear what role the JCNP will play. It is not clear what role the NJC will play. Currently, the JCNP has been put together to manage the Nassau parades. And I'm a part of the JCNP still, but to me, it's not clear what role they're going to play as a part of the authority. And I'm sure that the NJC can say the same. We can only assume. So for me, I'd like for...
In response, Minister Boleg explained that once government is replaced by the Junkanoo Authority, each Junkanoo Corporation or Family Island Management Group will meet with the authority to determine how their parades will be managed and organized, just as they currently do with the government. Meanwhile, Mr. Roll also expressed concerns about the cost of getting ready for Junkanoo compared to the prize money.
I'm excited for this bill. Firstly, when I saw that the UNESCO is a part of it, I got excited. Why? Because it's a reputable international body that I know can help us with funding. I've always said as a Junkanooer, $12,000 for first prize on a boxing in the New Year's is a disgrace. And I don't care what anyone say to me, and I say this publicly, the authority is a dream come true for me in advancing Junkanoo to where I want to see it go. I said at one meeting the other day, to get my wife to these parades, to the two parades, I spent $5,000 a year.
Roll suggested each group conduct a poll of its members to get a better consensus as to which direction they want to go in relation to the Junkanoo Authority. We'll be right back with more news on the other side of this break.